I might be divorcing my partner for leaving my son unsupervised for 8 hours. I need advice for what on earth to next. So a few days ago, I had to leave my partner, Jordan, and son, Rigby at home because I had to go on a business trip in another country. It's a pretty far country, nearly a 10-hour flight. I informed my partner, and I told them that I'd be gone for about a week depending how things went. They promised me that everything would be okay whilst I was gone. Naturally, I trusted them. 2 days ago, I went onto the plane at early morning whilst Rigby and Jordan were asleep. Near the end of the flight, I got a text on my phone from my neighbor, let's call him Bob. Of all people, the text basically said that Bob saw Jordan leave the house at 8 a.m. and hasn't seen them go back. They sent me the text at 4 p.m. According to them, they didn't see Rigby with Jordan when they left, so Bob was asking if he could check if Rigby was in the house. Bob's really old, so doubted he could actually steal anything, and always seemed like a nice guy. I asked him if he could do a video call whilst he searched my house, and he thankfully agreed. I told him where our spare keys were, and then he opened the door. When he walked into the house, I nearly shouted in the middle of the plane. Despite the video call's quality wasn't all too good, I could make out most of it. The house's white walls were covered with crayon scribbles, and I mean covered. The doors and even the tables had been scribbled on. But that wasn't the worst thing at the least. When Bob went further into the house, I could hear the sounds of Rigby saying random stuff to his toys. My worst fears had been confirmed. Bob immediately went to Rigby and I could hear him swear, and for a good reason. Rigby was in his room, and the floor was covered in poop and pee that had leaked out of Rigby's diapers. We haven't potty trained him yet. Rigby was playing with his toys, not bothered by the mess. Next to him was a bowl of cookies, unwrapped chocolate, and grapes. In another bowl was water, and around the bowl was a very damp carpet. I held the urge to barf or get angry, and asked Bob if could stay on the line. I texted my sister, Iris, a small summary of the situation, and she immediately went to my house. We only live a few miles apart, and helped Rigby get cleaned and then took Rigby to her house along with his clothes and necessities. I thanked Bob and ended the call with him. I called my boss, and told him of the situation, and he let me go back home, though I had to buy the return flight. But the cost of a ticket didn't concern me. At the airport, waiting for the return flight, I tried to call Jordan so many times but they didn't answer. I texted them like 30 times as well. I flew back home, stressing out, constantly asking Iris how things were with Rigby, and I also texted my mother-in-law, though they didn't know where Jordan was. As soon as I landed, I went to my sister's home and checked up on Rigby. I then went back to my home and sure enough, Jordan still wasn't there. So, I made a big decision. I took all of my things into a suitcase, and also Rigby's remaining things as well, and went to my sister's. Thankfully, she let me and Rigby stay at her guest room for as long as we needed. She also said that I should divorce Jordan. After thinking for a bit, I agreed. This was way out of line, and frankly unforgivable. A friend of mine who's a divorce lawyer helped me at a discount, and also said he would represent me. At night, whilst my friend was preparing, I got a text from Jordan, saying that they lost Rigby. I didn't respond until they said they were going to call the police. So I told Jordan that Rigby was with me, and then I didn't respond again at my lawyer friend's advice. The next day, when I guessed Jordan got the divorce letter, I was bombarded with texts again, and my mother-in-law called me, screaming at me. She said that Jordan had a very good reason for leaving Rigby alone. I ended the call before she could say anything. I got a few texts from her calling me a beastard for divorcing Jordan, and that Jordan was crying. So now I'm wondering what to do now. Do I listen to Jordan's explanation? Cancel the divorce.